Hey, welcome to the podcast. In this episode, we talk all about victim mentality, being victors, the mindset of business owners, and how to deal with customers or just people that don't see the value in what you do and what you enjoy. So we hope you enjoy this episode, and like and subscribe if you like this type of content.
I was just so frustrated that someone didn't take my advice.
Tell me more.
Just honestly, like, I felt like I could potentially change this person's life, and they didn't let me because of their research that they had done that they thought superseded my years of experience.
Yeah.
And no matter what I said, she still went back to her research.
Yeah.
So, and she had a clean canvas. Like, her credit was so clean. Like, those are the perfect ones because you can just add so many positives to it. There's nothing negative. You just have to build it. That's easy. But she wanted to go straight to the most difficult credit card to get as far as business goes. She wanted to get the top credit card that Chase offers. Established business owners get denied for that credit card sometimes. And she was so honed in on that. And I was like, I probably wouldn't apply for that if that was you.
Yeah.
And she still wanted to. And it hurt me that she took nothing from what I said.
Yeah.
And her research was solid. Like, it was good to a certain point until it wasn't.
Sure.
And it wasn't anything I could say to change that. So nonetheless, it wasn't someone that was coachable. So
you could give one piece of advice for the next generation, for college students, for young adults who are trying to start a business, trying to get funding. Like, they just don't know what they're stepping into. Like, what would you tell them? What did you want to tell that last client that didn't want it, that they didn't want to hear?
Just get a mentor.
Yeah.
Just pay for a mentor, because you're going to make mistakes that your mentor has already made and could save you potentially hundreds, thousands of dollars, and just knowledge. Like, you're so young. If you can actually grasp the knowledge of what credit is, it can change your whole life.
Yeah.
You potentially can drop out of college and live off of credit knowledge and teach people this and make great money.
Yeah, true.
So I think the biggest piece of advice is, get a mentor. Invest in that. Yes, DIY is good and do your own research. But when you're with someone that knows their stuff, value that and be willing to take that advice. Yeah. And not just go off, but TikTok said or social media said. Yes, I get that, but there's a lot of misinformation on social media as well. Vet the person and invest in a mentor. I wish I would have had that, growing up, because it would have saved me so much money along the way, right? But also it kind of shaped me because all those trials and errors taught me so much about credit in general. But if you can fast track that and not have to go through that and just pay someone to teach you A through Z, do it. Especially if you're trying to start a business.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be making mistakes credit-wise if you're
costly.
You're trying to scale your e-com business.
Yeah.
But you know nothing about credit. But credit is what's going to help you fund this e-com business.
I mean, that credit's the backbone for a lot of financial investments.
Yes. And I think people want to forget that, or they don't think it's very important. You know what I'm saying? So like it's business, so I just can bootstrap it and pay with my own savings. Yeah, but that's only going to get you so far.
Yeah. 100%.
But if you learn credit, it'll literally change your life. I mean, it's changed our life. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, credit has given us access to stay at beautiful hotels for free, essentially, or pennies on the dollar.
Nearly free.
It's given us access to travel the world, all off of credit. And it's not like we're lavishly spending on our credit cards, right?
Yeah.
We're literally just paying for our bills using our credit cards, getting points for already doing what we should be doing, paying our bills, right? Yeah. And then using those points to travel the world for free and pay taxes, $100 here and there to go to Japan, to go to France, to go to Colombia, to go to Honduras, like anywhere you pick, you could go, right? With credit. Some people pay thousands of dollars, save up 2-4 years to take their whole family on vacation.
Yeah, for one big family vacation.
But if you have the credit knowledge, you can literally go every year, every 6 months for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
It'll change your life. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. No, I agree. Understanding credit, it's a great tool that you can leverage that will open up a lot of doors.
Absolutely.
If you know how to use it. But it's not an avenue in and of itself, but it's probably one of the most helpful tools you can have access to living in the States.
Absolutely. And literally everything in the United States is ran by credit. Whether you're trying to buy a house, whether you're trying to get a car, whether you're trying to go to college.
If there's anything you can't buy cash, you need credit.
You need credit.
Yeah.
Right. And unless you're making over $1 million a year,
sure,
you're probably not going to be able to buy your house cash.
Well, even if you are bringing in a ton of net worth, we know people that still couldn't afford, they're making great money, but not enough to where the house was only 10% of their take-home income. Because even if you're a millionaire, if you have no credit, you can't afford $1 million house. Yeah. You just can't. Like, you need way more money to let this purchase make sense. Yeah. Even if you bring in $200,000, if you don't have good credit, it's hard for you to get a $50,000, $60,000 car. Like, you need it. You need it. Unless you're buying that cash. Yeah. And most people don't got that. Most people don't have that kind of cash. Not liquid hanging around. Not liquid. It's in assets, right? Like, you might have property here and there. You might have to sell property to get it. Yes, I understand. But if you have that much liquid assets, then essentially you don't need credit, right? You're on another tier, right? You're talking about the, Mark Zuckerbergs, the Warren Buffett. True, yeah. The Jeff Bezos, like all those guys. Yeah, 100%. Elon's like, you probably don't need it. Just buy that thing cash. There still are people who use it. I remember reading a story about a billionaire who bought like $1 million Chinese teacup with an Amex card, and it was like Amex, I think, made $300,000 just off of the merchant fee. Wow! And it was said to be the largest purchase, but he did it because he was like, I'm about to get 4 million in points or something like that, or 4 or 5 million in points or something like that. That's crazy. Yeah, so it was a weird. And so literally, if he would have cashed back even the 4 million, he would have made 100,000 points. Yeah, the 4 million minus 300,000 cash would give you 100,000 cash. No, 100,000 cash. Sheesh. So like you made money buying something. Yeah, if I'm doing my math right, I could be wrong. It could have been like 40 million points or something. That's something crazy. Yeah. So I gotta double check, but yeah, it's how to play the game. It's all about learning how to play the game. And so many people get stuck, like, how do you play the game, right? Yeah. So I think the number one thing is, like, be coachable. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're willing to learn and you're willing to be taught, whether that person is younger or older than you, I think a lot of people just have to, like, put their pride aside, because there's a lot of people in the game that are young, you know what I'm saying? Like 25, 26, that are coaching or teaching older folks that are in their 50s who've never actually grasped the idea or the handle of credit, finances, and it's taken a 25-year-old to teach them. So sometimes some people feel some sort of way because it's like, I could literally be your grandmother or your mom. Yeah, it's pride. It's pride. But that pride is keeping you broke. Pride is keeping you broke. Put that on the shirt. Pride is keeping, and so many people, you know what I'm saying? And then also, like, really bad habits, right? Like, if you're in your 50s and you're still struggling with this credit knowledge or credit idea, it's habits that have been built up over time. So it's like rewiring how you think. So like your mindset, right? Like your mindset around money. It's not just about, how you view it, but like, how do you spend the money? Yeah. What does savings look like? Some people don't have savings. A lot of people don't have savings. Like, I think I read a weird stat in, it says in the U.S.,
most Americans, or like 90% of Americans, have less than like $1,500 in their bank account as savings.
In their savings account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is sad because a lot of people make great money.
Well, those are the people I feel like that might be using credit in the negative way, like recklessly.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, we know like close people in our family, right? Like very close people.
If you're watching this, you know who you are. Second, if you're watching this, I'm also proud of you.
Yeah. So, not going to name anybody, but like, and they have us, but.
Mentorship comes back to mentorship.
Yeah. And it essentially would be free for them, but sometimes free stuff isn't as valuable to people because they don't see the value attached to it. It's free.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I think when people pay a high coaching program, 10,000, 5, 20, you're putting in that work because you put skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you've paid your dues.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm going to show up to the meetings. Yes, I'm going to show up to the Zooms. Yes, I'm going to show up and watch my videos and whatnot. I'm going to be held accountable. If it's free, people slack.
True.
There's no value.
Yeah.
So you got to pay.
Yeah, you got to have some skin in the game.
You have to. Or you stay broke.
Pride's keeping you broke.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. How you feel? You feel better? That's good. I know there's things you probably want to say to the client that you couldn't, but it's still good to share and for people to hear, one, for business owners or for anyone who might be an expert in their field that I don't want to say doesn't get the recognition, but the value is not seen in their work and in their knowledge and their expertise.
Yeah.
And two, for the person who, I think there's a healthy balance. You should DIY, you should do your own research, but you should also know what you don't. You should know what you don't know, right? Yeah. It's a weird saying because normally you don't know what you don't know, but you should be aware of there's some things that I'm probably missing. And that's where mentorship comes in. It connects the dots and then they give you that path.
Right.
So I think that's good that you shared that. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's honestly been the first time I felt so... It was like a mix of emotions. Frustrated, sad, upset, like all of them at once. I didn't know what.
You want to see them win.
Like, I can help you win.
Yeah.
Like, I have the blueprint. And I gave it to them.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
And they looked at me and said no. And I was like...
It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah. I said, okay.
Okay.
My job here is done. Like, I don't even know how to end this conversation.
Yeah. So
I just said, hey, well, if you have any further questions, you can always reach out.
Sure.
So kill them with kindness at the end of the day, right? So always be respectful.
Well, I mean, you have the best interest. That's where the frustration comes in. It's not like, you weren't saying, oh, you didn't buy my program. You're saying, man, I'm mad that you didn't do it. I feel like it's the best thing for you.
Yeah, because I already knew like this particular person was not going to be able to invest in the program. I knew that from the beginning of the call. Mm-hmm. And I could have ended the call right there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew where it was going. But out of the kindness of my heart, I was like, okay, this is going to be my ministry work for the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to give back because I'm not getting anything in return. And then to give back and still be like, thanks, but no thanks.
It's like, I remember seeing a video, it may have been on Instagram, where it was like homeless people in Hollywood or bums in Hollywood or something. And the guy was like, here's a couple change. He was like, man, I don't want your change. Like, you got any bills or anything like that? He's like,
excuse me?
Yeah, you can't, beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
So anyway, it just made me think of that.
Yeah. But I think every business owner has probably gone through that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know what just happened, but that was weird. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think, so I think as soon as it happened, I came out and I had to tell you, I was like, I need to tell someone.
Yeah. Because
this is like, I've never felt this way. And I've never been like rejected as far as like free knowledge. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do I handle this? 100%. So I'm glad you talked to me and was like, hey, let's turn this into a positive and let's share it with people. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, unfortunately, I have a lot of experience in this area.
Yeah.
I live here.
How so?
I feel like something that I enjoy is helping people. I want to see people succeed, right? Because even that sounds flowery. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to help people. No, regarding like whether it's like trying to grow in their faith or trying to be more productive or whatever their goals are,
Yeah.
that I'm also in agreement with. That I feel like, oh, these are great. I love trying to push people towards what they said they wanted. And either the problem is I'll push too hard and people go, look, I want it, but not like that. Like, or whenever I want, like when I want it. Or I think for me, particularly for this context, is I can't stand hearing people complain that don't want to hear any solutions. And I've already judged. I said complain, right? 'Cause venting is, in my opinion, you're sharing and you kind of want to get it out. You want to process it, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. If you want to vent, like, come tell me, but don't ask me for advice that you're not going to take, because I can't take that. I can't, because I'm so invested in your problem. I want to help you see you win. I want to see you be successful. And when you turn that down, now it hurts me to see you miserable, and I don't want to look at that all day.
Yeah.
I selfishly want you to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
And so it's hard when that's your only superpower, helping people that don't want to be helped. It's the voice crying in the wilderness. It's the tree that falls in the forest and like doesn't make a sound. It's hard because people say things and that's not truly what they want.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to grow. I want to get in shape. I want to do all these things. I'm like, bet, let's get it. I'm a great accountability partner. I'll be a hype man, all of that stuff. And then I'm like, let's ride. And you're like, oh, hey, calm down.
You're riding you're riding a little too hard.
Yeah, pause.
But
they're like, yeah, like calm down. And so, and it's not even about the, accountability. And so from there, I've learned to ask people, hey, do I have permission to hold you accountable? And like, well, where are you trying to really get to? Because if you just want to get sympathy, I'm not the person to come to. I'm not going to give you any sympathy. I don't have any. I don't. That's
you're not that guy.
I'm not. But if you want somebody that's going to ride with you to the finish line, carry you through, help carry some weight, let's get it.
Yeah.
I'm your guy. And so it's frustrating when people say they need someone like that when really you just want sympathy. You didn't actually want to fix this. You just want someone to tell you that your problems are valid and not to encourage you to double back down on those problems. You just want somebody like, I just want you to hear me complain about myself and I'm about to go back into it. That's insanity to me. I can't handle that.
Well, yeah. I think the problem is like a lot of people are so comfortable being in that insanity and like that's all they know. And I mean, I was a victim of that myself, like in my previous relationship, like that was normal, like toxicity. Am I pronouncing that right?
I think so. Yeah.
That was normal.
Yeah.
So like you get comfortable, like people get comfortable to pain and like, vicious cycles. And it's like anything outside of that is like uncomfortable. And
I mean, everyone has their things that they're going through. I'm cool. You can keep it. Just keep it away from me.
Yeah.
Like don't, for me personally, my personal opinion, like why go to the doctor if you're not trying to feel better? Why take your car to the mechanic if you don't actually want to fix it? Like I put you with the person that's saving houses on Zillow you can't afford, and then you get mad when it sells. Why are we dreaming? We're dreaming. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
For me, I'm like that. Keep that unrealistic to yourself. Do I think that's bad? No, but I just believe there's a time and a place for things. If you want to grow, there's a space to grow.
Yeah.
But don't bring venting and all that stuff into the growth space. Growth space, let's get stuff done in this space.
Yeah.
If you need to lick your wounds and cry and curl into a ball, do that over there. Like create a space for it. Like create space for it. But you can't crap where you eat. Like you just like we gotta have some clear boundaries between things.
Yeah.
If we're gonna grind, we're gonna grind. If we're not gonna grind, cool. Like I tell you, When we go on vacations, like if we're gonna have our itinerary, let's have our itinerary. Now, if doing nothing, wandering, and getting lost is on the itinerary, cool. Like we create space to do nothing.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to relax and somebody's like, let's go, 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 that's annoying. If somebody's trying to go, 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 and the other person's like, I'm trying to take a nap, that's annoying. I just believe clear expectations make for great relationships. That's really what it comes down to. And so that's why I struggle, because people aren't clear about what they expect. Oh, I'm out of shape. I want to fix this. I want to work on my diet. Oh, let's talk about it. You should probably cut that out. Hey, oh, hey, hey. I'm like, I could have swore you just said. I said, were you venting? Were you just like, well, no, I really want to. Okay, I'm just not the person to talk, because you're not even clear yet on what you want.
Yeah. Well,
so go handle that. Go talk to yourself. Go find yourself, and then go find me. But we gonna ride over here. Like, we gonna move.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's the problem, is because people say they want someone or accountability partner like that or someone like that in their corner until they're actually in your corner, right? Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, everything sounds good till it doesn't.
People don't actually count the cost. Essentially,
100%. Nope, that's it. That's
you know
exactly
what I'm saying?
what it is.
Like, that's another
shirt. I calculated immediately. I'm like,
it's gonna cost me 400 calories for me to lose weight, and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, but that sounds sexy. When I say it's gonna cost you, you have to drive by your favorite fast food spot 4 times this week and go straight home and eat some steamed broccoli. And when you say that, that doesn't sound right. So you're right. People don't count the cost.
They don't count the cost,
and that's why I can't. Like, it bothers me. I can't talk to people that don't count the cost. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Not in a like helping capacity. If I know you don't count the cost, and I'm just like, okay, you're just venting. I'm not going to give you any sympathy, but I'll hear you out. Like, I'll understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But like, don't waste my time with like, oh, this is what I'm about to do. Woo, woo, wow. I'm like, you keep that. Park it. Park it.
It's like the people that always talk about like, oh, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that.
Yeah, about to.
2024 ends and they like,
oh, you still?
They still at UPS or something.
I'm not.
I'm not bashing anybody working a 9 to 5 or working at UPS.
Yeah,
but when you told me you was starting this T-shirt company at the beginning of the year, and then you didn't count the cost and you flopped, and now you're still working at the place and you're still complaining, is when I have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
The other reason I think I have a problem with complaining is because it's a lack of accountability. And if you're not accountable for something, you don't take responsibility for it. And so I feel like a lot of people don't want to take responsibility because they have a fear of failure. They don't want to say, I didn't do what I said I was going to do.
Sure.
Or they don't want to say out loud, I didn't mean what I said. And to me, I think that's also the problem, because a lot of people believe that if I don't take responsibility for it, it's not actually my fault. When it is your fault. Not choosing is a choice. And I think that's the other part. Like, people want to stay victims so that they can blame life and their circumstances, when bad things do happen to people. But at what point are you going to at least attempt to be a victor and try to change your outcome and take responsibility for something? And I think that's the other part that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I was talking to my brother about this, and I was like, bro, like, don't say sentences like they didn't do. Like, don't even start with they. Start with me. I didn't follow up. I didn't.
Yeah.
Call. I didn't. Because when you do that, then you put yourself in a position to actually grow. Not actually grow. You put yourself in a position to be successful, and the ball is in your court, for lack of a better phrase. And I rather miss a shot than have someone miss it for me. Yeah.
I think to piggyback what you're saying, I heard this from Alex Hermosi. He did a little like rant. You know how he always goes on rants? He wanted to rant, and he was saying like, everything that you do, you should blame it on yourself. So like, oh, my car broke down. No, that's my fault.
Yes.
Or, you know, I didn't get 100% on my driving test. That's my fault. Like everything is your fault. And until you start taking accountability for all those things is when you start seeing real change. Cause it's like, oh, I didn't make 10K or 20, 30K a month. That's my fault.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's that, but it's that mentality switch. Like people have to get to that point where they switch. Otherwise you'll always be that victim mentality. And I was that for a majority of my life, you know, like, oh, woo me, like I always get the worst and this and that. And it's like, I wasn't doing nothing.
And you never can. Like, until you take that responsibility, you blame yourself, you'll never be able to identify any action steps. There are no action steps if you're not in control.
Yeah.
But if you are in control, there is always something you can do. It might not be a lot depending on the situation, but there is something, right? And I think there's a healthy and unhealthy version of this, but like to me, that to me is the most powerful thing. I can potentially change my situation, but you can't change anything if you don't think
you can change.
If you don't think you're responsible.
True. Yeah. So it's always someone else, right? And people with that victim mentality, like, oh, Job didn't call me back. Well, why aren't you calling them? Why aren't you emailing them? Why aren't you calling the supervisor? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, why am I having to tell you to do this? But also like I say all the time, like common sense isn't very common.
No. It's
so
not. It's
like,
relative.
It's relative. And it's, yeah. So.
Anyway. That was good. I feel better.
Nice. I'm glad you do.
I needed that.